Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are back once again with our latest podcast, Tru Heel Heat 104. On this edition of Tru Heel Heat, we will be discussing the latest wrestling news, including the fallout from New Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag League 2020 and Best of Super Juniors 27 Finals, Super J Cup 2020, and Impact Final Resolution. And that flows right into the Bullet Club reunion on Impact Wrestling, WWE backstage chaos and confusion amid record low WWE Raw ratings and creative decisions, week 58 of the Wednesday Night Wars, and preview and predictions for ROH Final Battle 2020 and WWE TLC, plus a little bit more. Of course, I am back once again with the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Hello. I'm doing homage to Miss Bailey today with my Christmas t-shirt, you know?
You gotta show the people at home. There you go.
Okay, so yes, I have the New Day as elves, so you know. I don't know if that's in the right area, but you know, here you go.
Yeah,
hey.
I was like, yeah. She's
Ratings.
married, guys. She's married. Focus on the right stuff.
She knows how to get the views. We also got our resident Tru Heel alcoholic himself, the president of Titan Nation, Top Guy JJ.
That's right, and I ain't got nothing as impressive as the elves on the shirt, but I do got my 1800, baby.
Of course. Keeping to form, and we have a very special guest on Tru Heel Heat 104. We've been talking all about how we have expanded the Tru Heel Heat repertoire. Not only are we available on all your favorite audio podcast platforms, not only are we available on YouTube, we are available on the hottest, fastest rising UK streaming site around. And I said we have a lot of new UK subscribers on YouTube, but you can also watch us on Powered 4 TV. So we have the man himself, Mr. Powered 4 TV, the owner himself, the owner, the CEO, the president. I'm going to use all the titles that I thought he was, Mr. John Scott.
There you go. Well,
yes,
thank you very much for having me. What an intro.
There we go.
Yeah, general manager. That's what I was looking for, you know. Why not? Steady Eric Bischoff route.
Commissioner. Commissioner John.
Commissioner, yeah. Commissioner.
I was finally able to get my lady a streaming service that she can watch. You know, that finally some connectivity, man. Loving it.
Nice.
So I know I gave you a really good intro, but of course we want to hear from you yourself, John. Tell them a little bit about you and Powered 4 TV for everyone watching on all our different platforms.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries. So Powered 4 TV is the streaming site that I currently run, and it's got literally 25 promotions on it. You sign up, you get the whole lot. Some are even free. So, you know, I encourage anybody that doesn't know about it, they can go over. They haven't got to put any money down. They can see everything that's on there. Obviously, you great guys from Tru Heel Heat have been amazing. We've got some really good feedback for the amount of stuff you do, especially I think on the stuff you do, the retrospective stuff on around 96. I've got a lot of feedback from that. So that's really, really good. Obviously, the likes of Wrestling Travel that I know you're very well connected with are on there as well. But recently, we've actually had Chicagoland Championship Wrestling Land on the platform, which has just been, for me personally, as a fan, I have just been blown away. I love the whole studio wrestling feel merged with like a cinematic view. So I've really been enjoying that. But yeah, we've got the likes of TNT Extreme Wrestling, which is on there as well, which has got a lot of the guys you'll be familiar with that are actually on AEW now, Impact Wrestling, NXT UK, the likes of Walter, have been on there very regular. You know, most of those guys you're going to find. And then we've got, you know, a lot of shows underneath that. We've also got a lot of legendary sort of classic archive matches running back towards the late 80s. During the 90s, even got some Andre the Giant matches out there from, I believe, in Belgium. That was in like 87 or something ridiculous in his prime at that point. Anyway, around WrestleMania 3. You know, so yeah, loads and loads of stuff to go and check out. I really want to encourage your viewers to go over and check it out, because obviously they get to see you. What I will say is, unlike any other VODs, we kind of have a media side to us as well. So not only do we have all the stuff there and readily available, but we also do a lot of documentaries and interviews to kind of facilitate in between all that. So, and I'm sure, you know, in the future, perhaps 2021, we're going to have you guys on as guests as well.
Nice.
Oh, that'd be amazing, man. That'd be amazing.
That would be a privilege, man, for sure. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So we got to start things off, as always. Sometimes we have to, you know, set some sad news at the start of our shows, but we have to send our condolences, our thoughts and prayers to one of the lost members of the wrestling community and the outer community of like Hollywood, a very famous actor in my eyes, Tiny Lester, aka Debo, aka Zeus. Yes.
Then Debo.
Well, you know, I had to finish off best for last. You know, the wrestling. You gotta bridge it all together. But you know, our thoughts and prayers to his family. Suspected to he was lost due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the virus. So you know, we want to send our condolences to his family. One of a wrestling legend due to his role in the No Holds Barred movie with Hulk Hogan, one of my childhood favorites, and of course Friday he was the villain himself, Debo, and so many famous lines from that movie. Any quick thoughts on his life and times, Krssi Love?
One of the first hills I was afraid of as a little kid. That was what, the 80s, like late 80s. I believe that was when that happened, and he was wrestling Hulk Hogan. But so you seen it in the movie, and then it came into like life, like playing in the wrestling ring, and they, you know, were wrestling against the, you know, the top person. Like, you know, he had to win. He was like the hero, and you wanted the hero to win. So he was like the first person that you was like afraid of. Like, no, don't beat him up. He don't do that. Like, no, you're gonna kill him. Like things like that. So that's one of my early. And then I was like, wait, ain't that Zeus on Friday? Which is Debo. So yeah, that's what I remember. I got, you know, condolences to them, and you know, praying for them.
So who was the bigger heel to you, Top Guy JJ, Debo or Zeus?
Ooh.
Oh, definitely Zeus. It was definitely Zeus. I was actually afraid of Zeus.
Yeah.
I was actually afraid of Zeus because by the time No Holds Barred came out, I think it was what, 1989 or 1990?
Yeah.
I was like 7 years old. Mm-hmm. He was actually the first human that I thought that can actually hurt Hulk Hogan. So I was actually afraid of him. When Friday came out, it was hilarious. Like I was like, damn, this just killed my whole kayfabe feeling of Zeus. Because now he's just this gangster that's mad funny.
That's true.
So it was like it was almost like a bittersweet ending to the career of Zeus for me. But I mean, both were so iconic, both were so great, and they both had such sticking memories. And you know, his memory just lives on, man. He's always had like little cameos in shows here and there. He's always been so well respected in the business of both wrestling and in media and in Hollywood. So nothing but good things to say about that man. And obviously COVID in 2020 is sparing almost no one. I'm just glad that the four of us and our families have been able to survive a lot of this so far. So it's just another reminder that this year just ain't ending. Yep. This year just is not ending.
Yes, it's been a long year. John, any thoughts on Debo, Zeus, Tiny Lester, and where do you say No Holds Barred ranks as far as wrestling movies? I say it's No Holds Barred and Ready to Rumble as the GOAT wrestling movies.
I'm for wrestling movies. I don't know. It was certainly one of my first though. I've actually got it on Blu-ray now. Nice. Because it's kind of one of those films that when I got older, it was so bad it was good.
Yeah.
Like the scene in the limo is just priceless.
What is that smell?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So bad.
But Zeus, you know, he was pretty decent in it. I mean, for what they got him for that role, I think he was probably perfect, really. Hogan at the time was like the most out there person. You know, he'd already done Rocky by this point. He was like living the dream in WWF, and obviously they wanted to make a movie with this crazy villain. I'm not sure why he didn't just play himself in that film, but nonetheless. Nonetheless, I forgot his name. What was it? Rip? Was it?
Yes,
Rip?
yes, Rip.
Right. It was blue instead of yellow. Yeah.
And he had the thing on the side of his haircut.
But Zeus, I mean, you know, he done really well when he came in as well. I think really. I know that like it depends who you listen to, but I actually thought he'd done a really good job. I went back to those matches recently and watched him, and actually I thought he was pretty decent. I mean, like you've got to kind of judge it on that time and era. Obviously, if you look at it to today, you're going to think, what the heck was going on? But yeah, he was kind of a scary guy. He was a scary dude. And I was quite impressionable at the time when that film came out. So I was kind of worried for Hogan, especially when he ended up on WWF. So it was a good tie-in with that.
Yes, I think we're coming up on True Rewind on Uncensored 1996, where he made his debut in WCW, a part of the coalition or the alliance to end Hulkamania. So I'll keep in touch with you, John. We might have to get you on that.
I want some updates.
I think SP could probably be the one to school us on this one. I mean, I would think that the Zeus character was the first guy to actually no-sell Hulk Hogan.
He was one of them. Hogan went against a lot of
he was impervious to Hulk Hogan's hits.
Yeah,
like that's why he was scary. I was like, Hulk Hogan, he can't even hurt him.
Yeah,
I still say the match in the movie might be one of Hulk Hogan's best matches.
I'm saying, if No Holds Barred isn't a part of your GOAT movies when it comes to wrestling, don't even talk to me. Regardless of how you feel about Hulk Hogan, that is the movie of movies when it comes to wrestling. That is literally on the Mount Rushmore of anybody's wrestling movies, period.
Pioneer for sure. But this edition of Tru Heel Heat, to go into things, is brought to you by our friends over at Wrestling Travel. Shout out to Justin Clapper and Danny. They just had their final podcast of 2020 with their year-end awards. Great stuff. Like we said at the beginning with John Scott here, you can find THH on Powered 4 TV. And of course, as we announced on the last edition of Tru Heel Heat, our fourth annual Tru Heel's year-end awards will be next Saturday, December 26th. We are going live. Me and Krssi Love. We might have some guests from the Tru Heel Heat family to celebrate 2020, and you know, it's 2020, so celebrate is a so word to use, but we're gonna have year-end awards to celebrate professional wrestling that persevered through what has been a hectic year for sure. And we have to start things off by telling you, give this video a thumbs up, share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends. Of course, there is the iCard down at the bottom to push that to subscribe, and the bell below that to push the all notifications for all the great content right here on Tru Heel Heat. And speaking of you, the subscribers, our supporters, our Tru Heel roll call is where we shout you out. We start things off with the Nick Jacksons of the world. The top three conversation starters, our Tru Heel Trinity, are coming in at number 3 is Argino Bismone. Coming in at number 2 is Charles Kirkhoff. Coming in at number 1, first time, and Top Guy JJ mentioned him a few episodes ago, and he finally hit the number 1 spot, the New Japan aficionado himself, James Wims.
Yes, there we go. There we go. You did it, brother. You did it.
Finally hit that number 1 spot. And a couple of Tru Heels, we got to shout out Ted Williams, John Kirkin, James Pierre, Simon Monk, and Dan, the mayor of Painesville, over on the Twitter machine. Our YouTube subscriber highlight, we have a good one here. I'll probably get a comment from Top Guy JJ, but Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon of Wednesday Night Warriors commented on Tru Heel Heat 103. He He had something to say about our topic, our top news topic of Charlotte Flair and the heat on her booking between Raw and NXT. He said, "Poor Rhea Ripley. I thought she was ready for the main roster, but definitely not if she's so concerned about wins and losses. Still needs more learning to do in NXT. I hope she can get to a place mentally where she looks at the bigger picture of things and sees that there's no shame losing to the greatest of all time. She had a great performance, one of the best in-ring performances of that weekend. I hope nobody that dropped a title to Ric Flair lost their confidence. I hope Rich Swann doesn't lose his confidence when he loses to Kenny Omega. There's still plenty of time down the road for her to get her W back, but it will make for a good built-in story. Long may our queen reign."
Wait, what?
You should have stopped like 4 sentences.
What the hell does Rich Swann potentially losing to Kenny Omega? Like,
He's
what?
losing to one of the greatest of all time.
But they're both champions to their respected companies. Like,
Right.
what are we talking about here? Yo, this is the problem. Yo, it's just like how they're infectious. These Charlotte Flair fans are infectious. Like, they're diseases. Like the Charlotte Flair fans are diseases. John Cena fans are diseases. The Dallas Cowboy fans are diseases. And truth be told, Lakers and Celtics fans are diseases.
Oh, come on. No,
Really?
pick on me. Why you gotta pick on me?
Listen, you might be one of the only knowledgeable people about that team, but I'm just saying, because you actually stuck with them through the Cedric Ceballos days, so I understand you. So the other ones that just found out that the Lakers are a franchise when Anthony Davis and LeBron James gets there, or when Kobe decides to win 2 rings after Shaquille O'Neal, you know what I'm just saying. Shit is different for the non-golden franchise players.
You're talking about the people that pick Mario in Mario Kart, right?
He definitely picks Mario, and then when he gets mad, he picks Metal Mario. It's unbelievable. That comparison is like ass. Like, are you kidding me? Come on, dude. Come on, you better than this. The troll effort was really bad on this one, man.
We're going to try to get Romeo on THH 105 to hear his great opinions. James Dugan commented on review of Honor number 7. "I've not got the time each week to watch every episode each promotion puts out, so keep up the solid work keeping us as not got the time to enjoy all of the wonderful wrestling up to date." We appreciate that comment, James Dugan, a new subscriber to the channel. And Kayfabe Tactics, the king of the comment section, commented on True Rewind 33. "I don't even remember that Savage Benoit match, and it seems like it would have stood out to me. I don't know if it's on there, but I might go check out their second match they advertised for the weekend, and Benoit hitting his head on the concrete was so hard to watch. Then Hogan comes in with a chair, Arn puts his hands up to block it a bit, and Benoit just takes it straight to the dome. Then Woman joined the Horsemen. I like both shows well enough. I've been really enjoying going back through this with you all. Thank you, Kayfabe." And yes, watching Benoit take chair shots and shots to the head is very hard to relive, honestly, knowing what transpired. I will just say that. That leads us to what we miss, and what we miss over the weekend. We previewed it on Tru Heel Heat 103, Impact Wrestling Final Resolution, with Rich Swann defeating Chris Bay in a great Impact World title match. We also had Manic defeat Rohit Raju to win the X Division Championship. And of course, the biggest news, the most talked about news from Right on Resolution, was Kenny Omega showing up. He showed up and had a reunion with Carl Anderson, which led to Machine Gun defeating Ethan Page. And that brings us to what happened on Impact Wrestling this week, with Kenny Omega and Don Callis showing up again to hype up Carl Anderson, to bring back the old Machine Gun, as he cheated to beat Chris Sabin in the main event. After the match, Impact World Champion Rich Swann confronted him, which led to Anderson punching Swann, and the Motor City Machine Guns made the save, but Doc Gallows returned to attack them, and then Omega nailed Swann with a wet floor sign to set up Omega, Anderson, and Gallows. Yes, the Bullet Club reunited to verse Swann, Motor City, and the Motor City Machine Guns at Impact Hard to Kill. I gotta ask you guys, what are your thoughts on the Bullet Club reuniting on Impact Wrestling, a big time main event for their first pay-per-view of 2021? I will start with our special guest here, John Scott. Your thoughts on the Bullet Club coming to the US of A?
Well, I mean, Bullet Club in general, just say that name and
Right?
everybody knows them. So, like, even in the UK, every time Ring of Honor was here, it was just full of fans wearing the Bullet Club merch. Like, it was the most sought out t-shirt ever. I think even people that didn't even know what the Bullet Club were just bought it because they saw their friends wearing it and they thought this is cool. You know, it's one of the sort of adult type of demographics as well. I don't think it's like something that you see kids wearing. It was mainly like that niche audience that everyone seems to go on about a lot. So yeah, it's good news, but I kind of feel like, how long are they? Is it 8 years now? I was reading somewhere. Is that the distance? I'm not sure, like, what the official timescale that they've had, but the only thing that concerns me with it, the only thing that will be a negative is, you know, if the talent is going to, you know, step up into those big shoes, because obviously most of the guys we now know are in WWE or in AEW or whatnot. They're all around everywhere, and I kind of feel like WWE did a really good job of making the Bullet Club like not worth having. It would have been the best thing ever, by the way. I'll put it out there. I would have loved to have seen it, but like, they just made it, by the end of it, by the time Gallows had gone and Anderson, it was like, okay, we're never going to get it, and the coolness has gone. And yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I don't know if it's just like, you'd be a better person to tell me because you watch more of the Japanese stuff, but is it still as popular in Japan, like, you know, amongst their fans as it was, or has it kind of got a little bit devalued as time's gone on?
I would say that Omega leaving hurt the Bullet Club for sure, because I feel like, you know, it was on the rise with Finn Balor in the leadership position. Then AJ Styles put a lot more eyes on it, but the peak of the Bullet Club was Kenny Omega at the helm being the leader. So I think that's why it's getting a lot of buzz that he's bringing it back together for Impact Wrestling, coming together with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. But I totally agree with you. WWE just makes a habit. If they don't create something, they just try their best to make it uncool and want our fans to not want it as bad as we originally did.
Yep.
So, Miss Krssi Love, what's your thoughts on the Bullet Club reunion and versus Swan and the Motor City Machine Guns at Hard to Kill? This is like a PWG or like Great Independent Show main event on Impact Wrestling's first pay-per-view of the year.
I think that this is fantastic. Someone that's finally gotten it right, or going to do it right per se, because just like he said, WWE dropped the ball. They had so many times and chances to get this thing that could have been so good, and they just let it go nowhere. Literally nowhere. So it's finally something that's going to happen that everyone has wanted to see happen on another in another company, because all these guys are all over the place, and now you're going to see it happen. And I think they're going to definitely execute it very well. I mean, they're doing good so far, so hopefully sky's the limit. But yeah, WWE dropped the ball so many times with that, and they could have like done so good with it, but unfortunately, no, they don't see dollars and cents for those type of things. They don't see bringing more people in when all the people are wearing those shirts. They were wearing those shirts to your shows.
Yep. Yep. We even have the invasion.
Hello, like literally, like people were wearing that merch to them, and you still did nothing. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Yes, it is. It is a lot of excitement surrounding it. But to go off of what John said, like I just thought about it in my head. We had the Balor Club, we had the Club, we had the OC.
The only club that mattered.
So yeah, WWE tried a lot of times to ruin this. Top Guy JJ, I say that to get that type of reaction from you. What's your thoughts on it coming to Impact Wrestling, and do you think we're gonna see Gallows and Anderson come on over to AEW as well?
I just want to hear any of those reactions to anybody in the back that was commenting about Kenny Omega's somewhat lackluster debut on Impact Wrestling as to how this manifested one whole week later. Like it's just literally, we said this one episode ago, just shut up, let it marinate, let it play out.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1 week, they have done more. In 2 weeks, they have done more than what the WWE has done with their ex-talents from these brands in 4 to 5 years.
Yep.
And then it's just literally calls out points that, like, and it's like, it's the same opinion, but it's 2 different points for what John and Krssi said, is that how basically you made all of these people from these factions boring as hell, and then you had the opportunity with all of these people from all of these factions, and you just did what you thought was cool. Just do what works, for fuck's sakes. Like this is what we come to the shows, and as John said, anywhere we go to, if it's WWE, if it was Ring of Honor, if it was New Japan, if it was Impact Wrestling, half or 75% of the fans in the building had Bullet Club or some form of Bullet Club merchandise in it. And yes, that buzz that all of them, that the elite basically brought to the Bullet Club, did lose a little bit of steam. So like when Kenny Omega was there, and when the Young Bucks brought so much merchandise element to it that it really drew the needle. But now that they're gone, it kind of fizzled out a little bit. And of course, 2020 fizzled out the freaking world.
Yes.
So we will get to see it again when we get to attend live shows again. But this is phenomenal. Like, I love that, the fact that we're going to get a tease of what people might want. Because Impact's ratings have grown. Impact's ratings have dramatically grown. AEW's ratings have grown because of the curiosity of potentially seeing some Impact fans watching AEW to see how this transpires. These ratings growths are not done by accident. This is all done on purpose. Take notes, companies. And you know what? The WWE is probably our fault anyway, because we sit there, we still, you know why? Because we still go to the damn shows. We still buy the damn merchandise. We still pay for the goddamn network. We don't do any of the stuff that we're supposed to do to make them realize how bad their shit is.
No.
Well, we'll get to people tuning out. I think.
Okay, I'm with the shits, because part of it is our damn fault. We gotta voice out lack of interest.
Yep. It's true.
So final question about this topic. I'll go to you, John. What are your thoughts on a potential Swan versus Omega for the Impact World Title, or for both the AEW and Impact World Titles? Does Omega's presence in Impact make you interested in that match and interested in Impact Wrestling in general?
Well, I'm interested in the match, but I think the key question would be, where does it take place? Does it take place at AEW or Impact Wrestling? And maybe they'll do both. Maybe they'll do a rematch as well. That makes sense, right? And then you see how it goes, and maybe you do a rubber match on top, somewhere down the line, even further, when both companies have maybe established more of a connective work relationship. We still don't really know like what that is. I've got a feeling it's just one of those, let's see how we do kind of thing, and play it by ear. And I hope that they do that. One thing I've got to fire back at you though, is that with the Bullet Club side of it, where it comes in, who ultimately has that licensing? Because if they got to go through New Japan and all the rest of it to be able to do this stuff and call it that name, or are they going to, call it another name like WWE did for so long?
I believe that New Japan, yes, does own the Bullet Club, so it's going to be very interesting to see if this is just an AEW Impact interpromotional thing, or is it going to become bigger? Like, are we going to get a new wrestling alliance where New Japan becomes a part of it? And thank you for the segue, because that segues into what I've been wanting to say about Kenny Omega. I think I didn't say it on the last episode, and you see on this thumbnail, Kenny Omega's character is Thanos from the Avengers. He's got his Infinity Gauntlet, and he's collecting all the stones. He has the AEW stone, and he also has the Triple A stone. Which on Triple Mania this weekend, Kenny Omega was in 2 continents at the same time. You might have heard Justin Roberts mention that on Dynamite in his intro. He was in 2 continents on the same night on Final Resolution and Triple Mania, defending the Triple A Mega Campeon Championship in a fantastic match against Laredo Kid. I will tell all you guys to go out of your way to watch that. One of the better empty arena matches of the year. And we have to go over to the home of the Bullet Club to what we missed as well. New Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag League 2020 and Best of Super Juniors 27 finals. In the finals, the Best of the Super Juniors, one of the absolute best matches of the year. Yes, it's December, and we have another match of the year candidate as Hiromu Takahashi defeated El Desperado. When I tell you guys this match had everything, it literally had everything. We had dramatic submissions, fantastic, amazing sequences and counters. We had an unmasking with Hiromu ripping the mask of El Desperado, and El Desperado just being enough of this shit. This is what it's going to take for me to win. He ripped off his own mask to a huge pop. These fans are not supposed to be screaming and gabsing in this arena because of the whole pandemic, but you literally heard about 5,000 people gasp like, oh my god, he just took off his mask, what the hell is happening? And it just went to another level. But in the end, Hiromu got the victory, won the Best of the Super Juniors 27, which I might add, Krssi Love once again with another correct prediction on a tournament. And then the Gorillas of Destiny, her other pick for the tournament, defeated Finjuice to win the World Tag League 2020.
To each we all picked it.
Hey! Don't knock her shot.
Oh no! Because I suck at New Japan picks as well. So I want some of this parade too. Damn it! We both picked this.
Okay, yes, we all
picked. New Japan picks are terrible.
We all picked Hiromu and the Gorillas of Destiny, and we were both correct. Gorillas of Destiny won the World Tag League in a great matchup with the help of Kenta knocking out Juice with the right to challenge the U.S. title briefcase, kind of setting up a match between Kenta and Juice for Wrestle Kingdom. We also saw the setup for matches between Tanahashi and Great Okan. Don't get me started on them disrespecting Tanahashi by putting him with Great Okan. I went on it, watched the roundtable on this show. Shingo versus Jeff Cobb for the Never Openweight Championship. Sanada versus Evil, and Hiromu will versus the Super J Cup 2020 winner. And this is why I wanted to point out Miss Krssi Love, because Miss Krssi Love has the least El of all of us on New Japan. But she went 3 for 3 this weekend because El Phantasmo also won the Super J Cup, winning back-to-back. Krssi Love was the correct there. I picked Leo Rush. I said the winner of their matchup in the first round would win the tournament, and I was correct there. But Miss Krssi Love was the one that picked ELP. So you can brush your shoulder off, Krssi. It's okay.
Enjoy that. That was a nice little pick right there. I got you. I feel that one.
Like, oh no, I'm gonna pick Leo Rush because Leo. I was like, okay, but
Go ahead. It's okay. So yes, we're going to see the Best of the Super Juniors winner, Hiromu Takahashi, versus El Phantasmo, the Super J Cup winner, on January 4th at Wrestle Kingdom 15. And the winner will be facing Taiji Shimori on January 5th for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. So a lot of great tournaments. We did roundtables on both of those shows, so check that out. And we'll go in full detail there. SmackDown and Talking Smack this past week as well. We saw Kevin Owens cut an awesome promo hyping his TLC match with Roman Reigns, and then he beat down Jey Uso, who tried to attack him. And then in the backstage area, Roman assaulted KO while talking to his family at home to tell Daddy to stop messing with the head of the table.
I tell him to stop messing with that. Like, I'm only doing this because
Roman's on a different level. Roman is on a different level right now.
That's good. Everything else is trash.
Roman, something is clicking with that man right now. Like everything he's doing right now since he's come back from SummerSlam just works. just works.
How do you feel about it, John?
Yeah.
Well, Roman's my guy, to be honest with you. At the
Oh,
minute,
we got another Roman.
but,
Join us.
but I have to say, like, the only issue with this is you realise that Roman is more popular than ever, playing this heel than he ever was. So when I used to do my podcast, my listeners basically every single week I would have tons and tons of emails. Why don't they turn Roman heel? Why don't they do it? And my answer to that at a point was, if they did, they'd start to cheer him. So they might as well just leave him as he is, because he gets more heat just coming out and smiling and being the good guy. So it's a really difficult situation. But obviously this is the right way, if they're thinking long term, to get him back on with the fans eventually, I would imagine. Because you noticed how careful they are sometimes when he's talking about the fans, or the universe as they call it there. But they're very careful. They're very particular what they're doing and what Paul Heyman says for him. So it's kind of like a scapegoat for me. So yeah, potentially Roman goes back as a huge face, but the one that maybe fans actually want to cheer for. And hopefully they don't just turn him into, like, you know, when Randy Orton suddenly becomes a face every which way and then he starts puckering up to everyone. It's just awful. So yeah, hopefully they leave Roman how he is now, and they've got every chance.
Yeah, I think I made this point before. I don't even think it goes as far as he would have gotten cheered as being this heel. He wouldn't even be here, because if you remember, The Rock only was with WWE for five years, because they turned him heel after 1 year of him being rejected by the fans. I think Roman would be in Hollywood by now if they had turned him heel earlier, because he's so good at playing this character. It's kind of ridiculous.
And you know what? John just made a hell of a point that, you know, you kind of think about it and you kind of hear it out loud. Roman is the asshole of assholes right now, but never insults the fans.
That is true, yeah.
Ever. It is always his actions are against the people that he works with. It's never against the people.
Yep.
That is a hell of an assessment.
Yeah, that was. I didn't even think about that. That is definitely true. Like, they don't have him do the typical WWE promo with insulting the fans, and
never.
They're doing that for a reason. For sure.
He's never
pat yourself on the back, John.
I just had to register that. Like, yo, he's on to that.
So we also, on SmackDown, we had Carmella beat Sasha by DQ in the main event, and then attack Baines with a champagne bottle. And I will agree with Miss Krssi Love. You made a good point. This show was kind of weak compared to other weeks for SmackDown, because it was only Roman. Roman was the highlight, and then there was nothing really else. This was kind of confusing with Carmella and Sasha already having a match for TLC. But what did you think about this segment?
I'm still not on board with her yet. Like, I'm still, like, not there with the whole Carmella music is cool. I'm still not, like, I'm not on board yet. I don't know why. I'm just still not there yet. And then why make them fight? Why did you just didn't save it for them to do at TLC? Don't wait. You should have, like, made them have either another promo sit down, or just talk to Sasha, or have the little sign, the fake sign. Matter of fact, they're probably gonna do that shit tomorrow.
We had the contract signing at the beginning of the show, and then they just said, you know what, we're gonna have a match tonight.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happened. But then also on Talking Smack, we also had a great segment with Big E and Paul Heyman.
Yes.
With Paul Heyman telling Big E that he needs to go out on his own, and that he had to ask him a rhetorical question. He was like, when you see, he first told Big E that when you look at overall at the end of his career, the greatness of Big E, the New Day will just be a footnote. And he was like, a rhetorical question: does anybody, when they see Roman Reigns in the ring, talk about the Shield? Powerful stuff there. Top Guy JJ, what was your thoughts on this segment?
That, you know, one of those simple questions: where's the lie? Where's the lie? There isn't one. And seeing that, and then I'm hoping that this is one of those immediate reactions for Big E, not something that gets milked out. This is something that he needs to realize sooner rather than later. Like he needs to not go through this emotional swing where he still loves his pancakes and he still loves his brothers and he still wants to entertain. He, without a shadow of a doubt, can be the biggest star on SmackDown other than Roman Reigns. And he has the charisma, he has the character, he has the mic skills, he's great in the ring, he's flexible enough to work with anyone. You gotta strike. You gotta strike while we remember this.
The whole outfit change. You brought the powder back, changed the whole, like, you don't need the pancake outfit no more. You don't need that. You're not with them no more. So
he needs to stop feeling the power. He
right.
needs to stop feeling the power.
They should have been like, all right, you wanted me here, obviously, by myself for a reason. Let me change up what I'm wearing. I can still wear the little slingette thingy, whatever you call that thing, and just make it blue or I don't know, make it tangerine. I don't care, but don't wear the same New Day outfit that you've been wearing with them. The whole point is you to like, they gave you their blessing. Let's get that blessing. Let's show them what I can do.
So I hope that I hope that this stupid loss to Sami Zayn,
oh my God,
is the turning point to make him realize he needs to stop playing around.
Yes.
I agree with both of you guys' point. They're moving in that direction. They have the Wale song, which is it's a minor bop. It's not a bop ski yet. It's a minor bop. I haven't heard it in full yet. It's a minor bop, but it is an improvement on him having the New Day song. So they're making those adjustments, I think, right now. Yeah. So over on Monday Night Raw, we had Styles lay out Drew McIntyre during the championship ascension. We also saw him put him through a table to end the show. That followed up with AJ defeating Sheamus in a really good matchup on Monday Night Raw. We also saw Keith Lee lose to Miz and Morrison in a handicap match. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt play hide and seek, leading to Orton burning a box with Bray in it, and The Fiend popping out to give Orton the mandible claw. And we also had Lana injured by Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taken out of the women's tag team titles match at TLC. I will get you guys prediction on that match and who you think will replace Lana later on in the show. But I have to ask John, what's your thoughts? You know, we used to ask our guests, what's your thoughts on Retribution? I won't even go there with you.
Oh please!
But
please,
you see, I don't even mention them when I talk about Raw anymore. But I will ask you, what has been your thoughts on the Lana storyline, which has been almost as divisive as Retribution lately?
It's a real tricky one because, you know, they had this, the documentary came out about her, obviously, that she did on the network some time ago, and then obviously it kind of took after that. But, you know, the thing that's like off-putting for me is obviously Rusev is still like, he still tweets about certain things. I saw a post that he put up where it's her covering in the match, and he's like, I taught her that one. You know, wink wink. And yeah, it's kind of, it's difficult because I think that, like, on one side she's got, like, I truly believe she does have like a fan base, and then on the other she's got people that just totally hate her, a bit like, it's kind of like Eva Marie's stance, you know, it's like real hatred there. So it's a real tricky one. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. And at this point, what I will say is, for me personally, I don't have much interest as a fan. I really don't.
I don't blame you at all. I like the Lana documentary, the Chronicles. It was a good, and I felt for her with all the stuff she was getting on social media, but it has not elevated my interest in the storyline at all by the way they've presented it. And then our final couple of notes on what we missed, we had NXT UK with Tyler Bate making his long anticipated return to face NXT UK Heritage Cup champion A-Kid in a losing effort. And then this week, I just saw it before we started recording this episode, this week on NXT UK, they played a vignette previewing the debut of Ben Carter, making him official to that roster. Since you are based in the UK, John, are you familiar with Ben Carter, and what's your interest in NXT UK at this point, because it's kind of viewed as kind of the forgotten brand of WWE, even though they have so much talent on the brands. They had a match of the year candidate with Walter versus Ilya Dragunov, but it's kind of the fourth brand when you think about it.
Yeah, it totally is as well. And to be honest with you, in the UK, it's not massive either. You know, it should be, because, you know, they're here. They came over a few years ago, and we thought, wow, you know, we've actually got a developmental system here in this country. And then when they started touring, to be quite honest with you, the ticket sales were down. I mean, they were really bad. I'd gone to a few of their tapings, and they just didn't have it, because the honest answer is that Progress Wrestling is basically like NXT UK, but for adults. And NXT UK is like for the WWE PG audience. So we've seen all those guys, and we've seen most of those matches on Progress Wrestling, including Walter and Dragunov, like many a times. So there's not much that they're giving us that we haven't already seen, as in terms of the UK fan base anyway. But yeah, it's a good signing. But I think that at the moment, what's coming across is that NXT UK are signing guys like Rampage Brown, for instance, who's been around for a long time, and it's kind of coming across that they're just getting guys that know how to work, and they're not really building on anybody just yet. Now, obviously, A-Kid, I could have told you he was going to win that Heritage Cup just by looking at that bloody poster. It was just so, you know, look at this is going to happen type thing. You just could see it a mile off. But yeah, NXT UK, I would love it to be more better. Anytime there's a takeover, it's always going to be sold out, because fans expect something then. But these tapings and these shows are very, very difficult to get into. We were doing a review here on Powered 4, myself and another John Scott. That'll confuse the life out of you. It's a nightmare on the co-host situation when we ask each other. But yeah, it was something that's... It could be so much more than it is. Let's put it that way. They could make their own sort of studio wrestling. I always envisioned it being like, do you remember like NXT when it first came around in the States? Yep. And I'm talking about the times when we had like Tyler Breeze and Pac, Neville, and when they was having those triple threat matches, those real Sami early days. Ladder matches and stuff. That's why I was thinking we were going to get here, but unfortunately it's lost a lot of identity, and it's more like, you know, this is just grooming them for something more. You know, the whole entrances and stuff like that have become very normal and sort of ordinary to that WWE base, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of become the NXT for NXT. Like, people get called up from NXT UK to go to NXT if they are the real top stars, like Tony Storm, Pete Dunne. So, yeah, I wish it would get more attention, because they have so much talent there.
There's one true talent that I really like in this country, and I've met him a few times, and that's Walter. But trust me, he's not interested in moving or anything like that. He's also probably not interested in doing the WWE, character. I could just imagine Vince or somebody standing in front of Walter and saying, a new gimmick for you. You're going to be a fireman or something. Yeah, Walter just been like, no thanks.
We know the true Walter.
The 2021 William Regal. He's a man.
And we know the real Walter. Me and Top Guy JJ went to Progress when he came here in New York, so we fell in love with him from that original time. Seeing him,
he's amazing with press as well. He's no different. He's like what I say is he's the European Brock Lesnar to us. He's all business. He just goes in. He goes home early at Progress shows if he's not on anymore. He gets straight back to Austria, and I kind of respect that, because he's quite brutally honest. And but the good thing about him, he doesn't overexpose himself with interviews and all the rest of it. So that's what I like about him. He's very protective. But he'd be somebody I'd really like to see. But having said that, when they did the whole Survivor Series thing last year, he came across quite ordinary to me, and I felt like maybe Vince wouldn't know exactly. Vince might look at him and think, this guy hasn't even got a body. What's anyone talking about? So it's difficult. But he'd be somebody with that style that he's got. If there's so much potential matches for a lot of up and coming guys, he'd be a fantastic heel champion for some time.
100%.
Can you educate me on something? Can you tell me what time NXT UK comes on over there in the UK?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock, 8
On
p.m.
what day?
So that's on that's tonight.
So
Yeah.
that's on
Thursday.
tonight. So that basically it came on 2 hours ago over here. That is the problem with an NXT UK for us.
Yeah.
Is that they premiere it on the WWE network at 3 p.m. over here. There's not a single male or female alive that is going to dial into wrestling at 3 p.m. Even though it's available on the network.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's available on
but they
demand.
don't promote it. They don't promote it at
they
all.
don't.
So there's no plug. So what I feel like would help it is if they premiere it on a different time slot over here on a different day. Like even if they show it right after NXT, or if, like it needs to fit our. It doesn't fit our time slot at all.
I don't think it
3
has anything to
p.m.
do with the time slot. You can watch it on demand. I never watched NXT, the main NXT at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, and that's why I don't watch it now when it's up against AEW.
So I want you to have an open mind with this because NXT averages about 600,000 viewers every Wednesday, right? How many viewers does NXT UK average from the 3 p.m. slot? Do we even take record of it?
Totally different. They did not average 600 or 700K when it was on Wednesdays on the WWE Network. More people watched it on demand than they watched it live at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. That's the difference. It has not. I don't think it has anything to do with the time slot. It's more what your original point was. They don't promote it.
And and that's why I'm a fan of being reminded of a show being on. So when I get the reminder of NXT coming on, when I get the reminder of Dynamite, when I get the reminder of these shows, now it's a program in my head to now catch it at this time and channel. If I don't get the program with all of your scheduling, it's gonna get lost in the wind, and it's just gonna be thrown in the on demand, and you're just gonna see you'll probably have to binge a month at a time just to catch up to it.
Yeah, and that's what I do before takeovers with NXT UK.
Yeah, that's not a formula to success, man. That ain't gonna help anybody.
So our final what we missed, it was MLW Fusion. Tom Lawler defeated ACH to move on to the finals of the Opera Cup 2020, where he will face Low Key, and Selena De La Renta teases former Lucha Underground champion Mil Muertes is coming to MLW. That brings us to our top news, where we're going to talk about backstage confusion regarding creative decisions and decisions from Vince McMahon himself, of course, and record low WWE Raw ratings. Right now, it seems like there is issues behind the scenes for WWE. I know that sounds familiar. We talk about it a lot here on Tru Heel Heat. There was mass confusion this past weekend as reports from Wrestling Observer Newsletter said that Vince McMahon threw a fit about some of the big men's work on the main roster. It was then reported by PW Insider that a few wrestlers have been sent down to the PC to refine their work, their in-ring work, 2 times a week with training classes at the PC. That list of talent is as follows: Otis of Heavy Machinery, Miss Krssi Love's son's favorite wrestler, AJ Styles, Bodyguard, almost, Mace of Retribution, Daba Kato of Raw Underground fame, and the big one, Keith Lee. They are getting a training cast ran by Adam Pearce and Drew Gulak. Keith Lee's inclusion brought a lot of confusion among talent. Fightful Select reported that talent was baffled by this decision with Lee because he is considered one of the better workers on the main roster. There have also been conflicting reports on how Vince views Keith Lee, with some outlets saying that Vince just doesn't see it in him right now, while others are saying that Vince doesn't think that he's ready just yet. It was previously reported by WrestleVotes that Keith Lee was being considered for a WrestleMania main event match against Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. And it should also be noted, as we talked about earlier on Monday Night Raw, Keith Lee lost to Miz and Morrison in a handicap match, but the original plan for the show, reported by PW Insider, was for the Miz to beat Keith Lee one-on-one. So the handicap match was an improvement improvement. Following this week's record low ratings for Monday Night Raw of 1.52 million viewers with a 0.41 in the 18 to 49 key demo, which was actually below what AEW Dynamite did last week. They had a 0.45 in the 18 to 49 demo, beating Raw for the first time ever, all 3 hours. WrestleVotes reported. Yeah. WrestleVotes reported that in a quote, talking to a source just now who said the record low Raw rating isn't sitting well with those in power, to a point where they expect some reactionary decisions to be made. Time will tell. This also follows a related report where WrestleVotes reported that recently a group of writers were asked to make a list of underutilized talents they felt could shine if given the proper opportunity. Those lists range wide, and nearly all of them had Cesaro, Angel Garza, Chad Gable, Carmella, and Peyton Royce. So I will start off with this Keith Lee note. What are your guys' thoughts on Keith Lee being sent to the PC to refine his work? I will start with you, John.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, please start this bullshit.
Yeah, Keith Lee. So I got to see Keith Lee. I did a press stuff with him at the back end of last year. He done I think it was last year. Yeah, Progress. He came over with Matt Riddle, and they worked there in one of their shows, and we got to chat to him. And he's like a really lovely guy. Like, he's super approachable, and that's what worried me about him, because I thought, blimey, you're gonna get eaten up, and you're probably just gonna be saying yes all the time. And unlike Walter, who's probably gonna be like, no, I'm not wearing this stuff that you make me wear. I think Keith Lee's going to be too nice, a person. That's how he come across to me anyway. Obviously, I don't know the guy. That was just like a brief meeting, but it certainly was apparent that if he made it into the roster, he might get lost. And obviously, how many guys from NXT, they make that jump, and if they've done well on NXT normally, they ain't going to do so well on the main roster. That's what I find. I find anybody that doesn't do so well on NXT normally has a huge improvement, at least for the first 6-7 months anyway. But yeah, Keith Lee, so this situation obviously it seems quite erratic to me, to be sending like the variety of talent back down to the performance center to do whatever they're going to do. Quite frankly, I think that the character that they've given Keith Lee is terrible. Ever since he's made the change, just the little things, what he wears, that attire, it's like, seeing Scorpio come in and then be Flash Funk. I mean, it's so alien to what I was used to with Keith Lee. So with Keith Lee, I was thinking we're going to get this guy that I saw stand up with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and that just had all money over it. I just saw dollar signs, and I thought that'll be a match, 2-3 years down the line. Now, I don't think he's main event just yet. However, he's better than what he's been given, and he shouldn't be punished in this sense to be saying, you need to work or improve in your in-ring. I think his in-ring's perfect, but I think it's what they position him as and what he's wearing, even the music, it's just a mess, just a complete mess. And I feel for the guy. I mean, this is like Braun Strowman for me. He's lost all that credibility as well. I mean, the Santa Claus thing did it for me. That was it. It was gone. But I remember seeing him in London, and he was hot. He was hot as a heel, and we were thinking, blimey, like, this guy turns a lot of heads when he walks past. Now it's just like a friendly giant. So it's kind of odd, because Vince McMahon, for me, the Vince McMahon I grew up on, loved guys, big guys, and knew how to book them. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I really don't know wwhat's happened. And I feel totally for Keith Lee. I'm not sure. To be quite honest with you, I'm not sure what happens. You only have to look at someone like Rusev. Rusev was so over at one point. He had that massive match with John Cena, come out in a freaking tank, gets the whole 9 yards with this. Now, bear in mind, he loses, but it's a big moment. But I think this goes back to something that I always used to say, is that WWE, and you alluded to asking the writers about who they think. I don't know why they're asking the writers, quite frankly. Like, they should have a better handle on it themselves. But to me, WWE, the system, you can make anybody within a couple of months if you really want to. Like, it's just placing people. So it's like, you look at Dolph Ziggler now, if they really wanted to, they could have him as champion next month. Because they can, and they just do it. So it's different to how it used to be, where the guys really cared about the belts and being the champion. But obviously, you've got so many titles now. It's like everyone gets one for taking part almost, and the kind of, it's just so like devoured the whole title reigns for me. Like, I don't look at champions the same way as I used to. Even Drew McIntyre, even being, you know, over in the UK, to me, I wasn't really sold on it. And I listened to the podcast earlier that you was on with Wrestling Travel, and those guys were loving Drew, and you know. But for me, that never happened. And I like Drew McIntyre, but it never happened the same way as it obviously has for them, because I just see him as somebody who's on a spoke wheel. That's like, I remember the year before he faced Roman, and no one was really saying anything about him at that point, you know. Yeah. And I felt like they pushed that match out too quick. So what's happened with Keith Lee, quite frankly, could have happened to anybody. I feel bad it's on him, though, and he's probably the big name that I'm like quite concerned about. If Vince doesn't see, you know, his potential.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they said, it's baffling. It's not just baffling for the talent, it's baffling for us fans. It's like, this guy is called the Limitless One, and you're trying to put limits on him. Yeah. So Krssi Love, do you think that the way WWE would like all their big men to work is the issue, or do you think that there is something that Keith Lee could need improvement on in some places?
Like he said, he was the Limitless One. So here's my thing. We push him in NXT. We push him, I mean, huge. He won 2 belts. He had 2 belts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you push him, he had this big old grand thing, and then you bring him over here, and then you make him be a loser. There's nothing likable about this person that we love so much. There was nothing likable about him. And now, I think it's all of the people. I think it's Vince's fault. I think it's all of them that had this whole, like, image that wanted to change him. And it's their fault. So now he has to be punished for what you guys did to him. He already had a character. He was already built. Why bring him over here and then change everything that we loved about him? It was a reason why he was so over when he was over there. So now you bring him here to the main stage, and now no one likes him. That's your fault, not Keith Lee's fault, and Keith Lee shouldn't even be punished for that. Now they should have took me in with him also, but you know that's not here nor there. Anywho, but still, nevertheless, I'm not really answering your question because I don't feel like it's something that he did. You know what I'm saying? He did what he was supposed to do. Go out there, put this hideous outfit on, and do what he do his job. The fans didn't like it because that's not Keith Lee.
Yeah, that's a great point. And to kind of add to what you're saying, like, not only did he like get big in NXT, but might I remind everybody, he wasn't even over in NXT. It was him on the main roster at Survivor Series of last year where he originally got over. Like, they saw it. They saw the fans like really get on his side before their eyes. Vince got to see it against his number 1 guy, Roman Reigns, against his number 2 guy, Seth Rollins. And then when he came back to NXT, that's when Triple H was like, oh, we might have something. Let's push him. So it's like, it's baffling. It's so different from every other example that we could talk about with NXT call-ups and it not translating. This was a guy that got over on the main roster, then went to NXT and got a bigger push, and now he's back on the main roster, and you're trying to bring him back down, it seems like.
Royal Rumble, all of that. Let's not forget that part. You give me a belt, then I had to give away one of the belts because you gave me 2 belts and one. Like, it just, everything you guys are doing, it's just bad. Just bad.
So, Top Guy JJ, I know you have to be feeling vindicated because you were the one on the show who said that his win over Randy Orton wouldn't mean anything, and I don't say this to you much. You were right. It didn't mean anything, and here we are. So how does it feel?
First of all, I don't feel good at all. I don't feel good at all because Keith Lee is on the verge of being the worst booked African American man in the history of the WWE.
And that's a wide range.
It's like for crying out loud, when you got star that pops to you and is handed to you on platter after platter after platter. It started, as you said, at Survivor Series when he had the spot with Roman Reigns when the fucking building erupted. The entire 17,000 people are chanting NXT and Keith Lee. Then he comes out and then he challenges Brock Lesnar, and he is the one that does not get eliminated immediately. And then it just compiles into him becoming the first double champion in NXT history, just for them to say, oh, there's a new piece of candy over there in Karrion Kross.
Yep.
And we're going to take the titles off of him in 1 month. And then we're going to have him not only not defend the North American Championship, he hands it away and just gives it up. Who does that? He gives up the title, and then he loses in his second defense, because mind you, he had a defense on his first night as champion against Dijakovic.
Yep.
And it was a great match, by the way. But then his very first pay-per-view defense loses it immediately to Karrion Kross. Do we even get a second rematch? Do we even get a chance for this to manifest again? No, it does not happen, because guess what? We see money. We're going to call him up to the main roster with no idea with what to do with him. So then here we come to the almighty booking of the pay-per-view called Payback. Out of nowhere, let's just give him a match against the hottest heel in the business, Randy Orton, for no fucking reason whatsoever. The match is 6 minutes. Keith Lee pulls off the weakest victory I have ever seen against the hottest character in the entire company. I called it right on the damn thing, which I did not want to be right about. This does nothing to either guy. You just literally wasted Keith Lee's whole push.
Yep.
Like, Keith Lee would have been the man in NXT for 6 months to a year, and you just literally just saw a nut, you wasted it, and now it's gone. And then here we go. Not only after the win to Randy Orton, we change his ring attire. For why? For whatever reason, we don't know why. Because Keith Lee looks fine. For whatever reason, we don't spend the money to acquire the famous theme music that he was brought into NXT with, and we bask in his glory, and all of a sudden it turns into some Mega Man theme music from Metal Man or some shit. And then what happens after this? He jobs and match. He has worthless matches sparring matches against Drew McIntyre. It literally was the most meaningless booking I have ever seen from a double champion in the history of me watching wrestling. And now it leads, unfortunately, to then the famous. This is classic WWE. It's Keith Lee's fault.
Yep.
He's got to work. He's got to refine himself.
Keith Lee, the one that can do everything with anybody, with any size, with any stature person. He's big enough to pick anybody up. He's agile enough to flip with anybody. He can sell for the smaller guys. He can do anything that he wants. But he needs work. He's the one that needs work. He needs work.
Yep.
Wow, so this is clearly, we all know that the man is out of tune.
But Retribution is still on TV, right? But Retribution is still on TV.
I don't even want to divert to somebody that it's to a group of people that's that trash. But the fact that this focus is on Keith Lee, that he actually needs work, and you're going to stick him in there with Koba or Jabba or whatever the fuck his name is from Raw Underground that couldn't throw a punch to save his life. And you're going to compare him to every other big, and then what's the icing on the cake? They're gonna take wrestling lessons from Drew fucking Gulak.
Yep.
The man is 145 pounds bigger than Drew Gulak, but he's gonna learn how to wrestle from Drew Gulak as a 350-pound man, and he can do moonsaults better than Drew Gulak.
Yep.
He sells better shit than Drew Gulak, but he's gonna learn how to wrestle from Drew Gulak. I swear to God, I could take the rest of this podcast venting on this shit right here, but I'm gonna stop there because what they have done to him, it is literally the most asinine, blasphemous shit I've ever seen done to a double champion.
Hey, we haven't said this in like 100 episodes, I think, but hashtag WWE booking in 2020. Speaking of which, Speaking of which, what do you? I'll start with you, John, very quickly. What do you think needs to change the most behind the scenes to improve Raw's rating after their record low 1.52 million? Do you think that it's a creative shakeup, a call up? What do you think?
It's not a call up or anything like that. I think it's just the structure of the show that needs to change big time. I mean, like. Every feud it looks like you ever played video games when you used to, I don't know, like play universe mode and used to set up a rivalry and they're in just brackets. They never cross over. Yeah. And that's how WWE's become. They never interlink with one another. And the bigger story never seems to affect any of the lower card people like it used to. So it just used to, and the commentators would talk about bigger events that might have happened on the night. Like this, with some of the most ridiculous stuff that's been happening. I'm not even going to mention their words of the name, but you know where I'm going with this. When that was going on, once they'd cleared off, that nobody cared. It was just about the match, another match again. And it's like, well, that didn't really have much impact then, clearly. And yet I see McAfee come out and then Triple H comes running down with all these guys if he's out there. But they don't come out as something if these guys are supposedly not even supposed to be on the building, and yet they still get like, I don't know, like when they was doing that draft, they all had individual pictures, which just made no sense whatsoever, how they got contracts, because they were ruining too much stuff. I mean, it's so hokey and stupid. But the things to me is I try and like find out from friends that don't normally watch wrestling too much, and I say, sit down and watch this for 3 hours and just give me some of your thoughts. And they say, like, you watch one Raw, you might have the entrances are so spot on now. Like even the camera angle, it's like watching a video game. They don't even change it. The angles are the same. The commentators now pretty much are told not to speak through the entrance like they used to, which just annoys me because that's just some time they could use up rather than talking about it during the match. And so, you know, if you go back 20 years ago or whatnot, but when you watched entrances, even like through, I don't know, even like 04 time, they come out, they at least did some little tweaks and different things to change it up a bit. But I think they're so formulaic now that this is just the way it is. And to be honest with you, I'd say the last 15, 20 years is pretty much, we haven't really seen a huge eclipse. It's almost too perfect for its own good, and I just think that's how it's got to. The only ways to really change it is you need to really probably knuckle down to some serious like small group of writers. I don't know how many writers they've got there currently, but it's probably way too much, whatever it is, because no matter if it's good or bad, it's only going to work if you've got it from a few minds, not loads of people's minds. And to be honest with you, I watch the show now, and it's very hard to feel like you have to watch every show to know what's going on. You could watch just to the pay-per-view. You don't feel like you have to invest that time like I used to on a Monday night. Like it used to be prime time. I've got to see what's going to happen. Now, every so often, they come out, and they were doing this for the last 5 years. You'd see Stephanie, Vince, and they'd all come out at the beginning of a show and say, we're going to shake things up. We're going to change it. And as soon as they say that, it just puts me off even more because you know it's been thrown down your throat. So nothing's coming natural at all. I don't think it matters who's on the roster and whatnot, anything like that. I just think it's the formula that needs to change, the structure of the show. 3 hours is too long for me as well, but they're never going to go away from that because they make too much money through adverts. But I would love it if it was 2 hours again, but if it's got to be 3, I would suggest they do something for that third hour or an hour in between where they maybe do interviews or something, you know, like take a playbook out of when we used to have Royal Rumbles and stuff. We'd have that intermission part, right, where fans would get the merchandise. but it seems like nobody can even do a damn interview anymore. Like I don't see enough of them happening. So yeah, it's a nightmare. But there's no real overnight thing. But I do think the formula has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it's kind of gonna have to be like a gradual change, but definitely the formulaic type of way that they have this show needs to stop, and they need to stop putting band-aids on gunshot wounds, because this is a list in just the last 2 years of band-aids on the problem that is Monday Night Raw that they've tried. Are you ready, guys? This is gonna put a bow on this whole conversation.
It's
You
XP.
you are the
Sorry. I was just gonna say, I swear, I really hope that this is one of those episodes that we are able to take snippets, because I swear this might be one of the most informative episodes that we have about all of the issues that is going on with certain areas of wrestling. I really hope we could take snippets out of this.
We'll talk to our production staff. I'll talk to Romeo for sure. But these are some of the impromptu ideas in the last 2 years. I have to credit Sean Rossap of Fightful.com for putting together this list. In the last 2 years alone, you are the authority when the McMahons came out and said that we were going to be the authority now. The Superstar Shakeup, the Wild Card Rule, brand-to-brand invitational, no commercials during matches. You remember when they only did 2 out of 3 falls matches? Raw Dark, when they introduced the 24/7 title. Raw Underground, and of course, John's favorite, Retribution. So that is the list of all the band-aids they have tried to put on the gunshot wound that is Monday Night Raw. But guys, we have to move on to brighter days, Wednesday night days. Wednesday Night Wars Week 58. This is some of your guys' favorite time of the show, where we talk about WWE NXT and AEW Dynamite. We tell you the ratings for both shows, and we let you know what happened and decide what was the better show for the week. If you don't like what we say, check out Wednesday Night Warriors with Romeo Anthony Colon and Chris G, where they break down each and every segment and let you know what they thought was the better show. Usually Romeo picks NXT. Krssi Love, you want to hit the drums? So for week 58, WWE NXT comes in with 766,000 viewers. That is up significantly from last week, almost over 100K increase from 659,000 last week to AEW Dynamite with 806,000 viewers, which is down from their 995,000 from last week. Almost 200K they are down, but AEW does get the victory by a slim margin of only 40K. AEW Dynamite had Kenny Omega defeat Joey Janela in a non-title world title eliminator no DQ match. Then after the match, on the mic. Yes. Don was on the mic. They were great. After the match, Death Triangle comes down with Pac telling Omega that he will meet Rey Fenix for the AEW World Title on December 30th for New Year's Smash. Cody and Brandy, congratulations to them. They announced that they are having a baby, a very special video that they did. The Hardy Party defeated Hangman Page and Dark Order in a fun 6-man opener. The Acclaim defeated SCU in their debut on AEW Dynamite to set up an AEW World Team Title match next week against the Young Bucks, and Inner Circle defeated Best Friends, Top Flight, and the Varsity Blondes. WWE NXT had an absolute banger of a match with Kyle O'Reilly defeating Pete Dunne to move on to face Finn Balor for the NXT Championship on January 6th at New Year's Evil. Karrion Kross made his in-ring return, so squashing his opponent to set up his New Year's Evil match with Damian Priest. Toni Storm defeated Rhea Ripley in the main event thanks to help from Raquel Gonzalez. The Way, which is Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory, defeated Leon Ruff and Kushida. Tommaso Ciampa defeated Tyler Russ in a surprisingly good matchup, and more Xia Li and Boa vignettes to hype up their torture. So what was your better show for the week? This week we will start with you, Miss Krssi Love.
I am going to go with NXT because now everything on the show wasn't good. Okay, fine. But the matches that I loved, Kyle O'Reilly, god damn it, man. Ugh. he is just. Didn't we just talk about him last week being like that main event guy? Like, okay, now I thought Pete Dunne would have won since they did this match over again, and you know, I guess Finn has to see him because he broke his jaw. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Great, cool, fine, sure. But that match alone was a banger. Then the ending, the close out the show with Toni Storm and why am I losing?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea.
Thank you, friend. With Rhea, I thought that was amazing. I give it to that show. Those matches, I felt like AEW was all over the place, even though I think both shows were not that good anyway. But I wasn't that glued, and the only time I was glued in was when Kenny Omega and Don was there, and they were both on the mic. So I'm giving mine to NXT for the reason the match with all those people was a lot of going on. It had like 12 people out there.
The Inner Circle, yeah, it was a 12-man tag.
That's too much. No, don't do that no more. Please, don't do that no more. No. But I mean, AEW was good, but I'm giving it to NXT. So there you go.
All right, John, who do you have this week? AEW Dynamite or NXT?
It's a tough one because I kind of liked a lot in both, but I probably, for the same reasons as well, I will go with NXT because I just think the matches, they're a little bit more tighter than AEW's, and I always like it when there's progress during bell to bell as opposed to a lot of the ridiculous stuff that seems to occur on NXT all of a sudden. So yeah, for me, NXT gets the jump. Obviously AEW, I suppose you kind of had to expect it was going to be on a come down after, the events of what we've seen the past couple of weeks. Has been a huge buzz. That's only natural, but to be honest with you, it's still not a bad time. I just feel for both these shows, I wonder how much better it would all be if we had fans, obviously. And sometimes I feel like, are they holding back because of that as well? And then I'm sure there's an element of that involved, despite them wanting one up on each other. I think there's an element of let's not give everything until it really makes sense. And I feel for AEW more because obviously they had a huge plan, I would imagine, and I think they almost tried to book backwards as much as they could. They've really had to adjust a lot. And I think they've changed a lot of plans, if I'm completely honest with you, to where we're at now, given the whole COVID situation. So, but yeah, overall, I go with NXT this week.
All right, we got 2 for NXT. Top guy, JJ.
Damn, I thought I was going to be in a minority here, man. Like, I think if anybody has ever watched this and knows how I kind of grade these things, and it's going to be 3 for 3 for me so far with NXT because I'm going to pick the stand. Like, when I watch standout matches, it's going to, and with the lack, like, AEW had a lot of substance, but didn't have a lot of substance that to me meant anything. This was one of those, it's okay to take a week off and lose because you have been killing it for the past month. Yeah. It's okay to take a week off, but NXT delivered at the same time. So just the build to New Year's Evil, I felt that was a solid build to New Year's Evil. Of course, I mean, you're gonna give me Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne and a banger in the middle of the show, and then close out the show with Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley. Yeah, like you're just giving. It's like this is one of those events that I felt like NXT booked all in the right areas. There's going to be a segment or two that's trash. You're going to get that. NXT is not going to be great from top to bottom at all. But the stuff that I remember and all the areas that meant something to me was really what hit home for me with NXT. And those 2 matches, when I'm going to remember for weeks to come, I'm going to remember Rhea and Toni, and I'm going to remember Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne. Like, I'm going to remember those. There wasn't a damn match on AEW that I'm going to remember for weeks to come, and God, never, ever put 13 to 15 people in a fucking ring again. Like, oh my God, that was too much.
Have a Royal Rumble.
They just went up from 12 to 13.
Yeah, it was too much. Yeah, I get what they was trying, and then that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay that they could take a swing like that, and it didn't work because AEW does a lot of shit that works. This to me just didn't work. So I'm giving a nod to NXT.
Usually I like to be different here, especially when everybody is going for one show. I like to be the different one to kind of point out the good stuff in the other show. So I will say, AEW, I really enjoyed the main event. Kenny Omega and Don Callis is probably one of my favorite acts in the business right now. They're just on money and they're always delivering. I actually did enjoy the 12-man tag until that finish. Never let Jay Hager do the F10. That's Warlord's move for a reason. He does it well. Jake Hager does not. The opener was a lot of fun with Hangman Page with the Dark Order and their Red Dead Redemption look on the come up. It was just hilarious. Had me dying laughing. And I like the storyline with Matt Hardy being the evil mentor of Private Party.
Yeah, now he's supposed to be heel. Like I was, yeah, I don't know.
But NXT was the better show this week. It just was. Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly, absolute banger. One of the best TV matches of the year. I wasn't as big on Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley as the rest of you guys. I think they're both very talented young ladies, but they just never have really, really good, great matches to me. They just don't seem to mesh like that. The match that stood out secondary to Dunne and O'Reilly to me was Tyler Rust versus Tommaso Ciampa, because that was his debut match, and he really showed out against one of the pioneers and pillars of NXT and showed that he's a future star. And my boy Malcolm Bivens having a client, I am all for that, because Malcolm Bivens is underutilized in NXT. But NXT just brought it this week. This was probably their best non-theme show of the year, and they're really hyping up New Year's Evil very well. And Balor versus O'Reilly gets me excited. But also on AEW, Phoenix versus Omega, I am ready for both of those matches to be put in my veins for sure. So yes, NXT pulls out the clean sweep, rare clean sweep here.
But NXT, yeah, that is really rare. I mean, I think the last time they got a clean sweep from all of us was Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
That was the last time. So like I said, one of the best non-theme shows that they've had all year. The news rundown, we'll run through these very quickly before we do our preview. WrestleVotes reports that the rumored WrestleMania 37 matches, as we spoke about earlier, are Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar versus Keith Lee, Edge versus Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns versus Goldberg.
So John, does that sound familiar?
Sounds very familiar. And
does that literally sound like a few months ago back in Raymond James Stadium? They just added one person to it.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Pretty much. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported that Lana's exclusion from WWE TLC, they reported on this, and they said, according to Mike Johnson, Lana could be off WWE television for 3 to 4 weeks after the attack on Monday Night Raw. He also noted that while speculation centered around a potential return of Charlotte Flair, there's no confirmation of that storyline development. So we could see the return to Charlotte Flair. I'll have a special tweet concerning that if that does happen, though.
There we go. The minute she come back, somebody got to get kicked off the show.
Hey, no. I just have a special.
It's just how it goes. If
I have a
back, airtime's gone for someone.
I have a special tweet from one of my inside sources. I won't ruin it here. You'll see it on Sunday if it happens. PW Insider reported on WWE's broadcasting plans for the holiday season. Monday Night Raw will remain live every week. NXT will still be live on Wednesday nights. Friday Night Smackdown is expected to remain live except for Christmas week. As previously reported, December 25th falls on a Friday this year. WWE is expected to tape the Christmas Day edition on December 22nd or 23rd, and per the report, SmackDown on New Year's Day will be a live broadcast. Johnny Fairplay said on the PW Torch podcast that he spoke to Robert Stone, and Robert Stone told him that Melina was supposedly going to be a part of the Robert Stone brand a couple of months ago when they were talking to Melina to return back to WWE. In an interview with our good friend Alex McCarthy, Kevin Owens revealed that he has pitched tag teams with AJ Styles, Mustafa Ali, Apollo Crews, and Sami Zayn in the past, which have all been turned down by WWE Creative. He also revealed that the original plans for WrestleMania 34 was for Zayn and Owens to face Vince and Shane McMahon before Daniel Bryan's return changed the plans, and WWE Smackdown drew 2.206 million viewers, which is up from last week. AEW news: Jim Ross causes some controversy this week with comments on his podcast complaining about the DDT and Superkick no longer being finishers, and how he finds it stupid when people gather together to catch wrestlers on dives. Brandon Cutler made fun of this on a tweet promoting the 7-on-7 original 7-on-7 match on Dynamite this past week, which was he was eventually pulled from due to Wardlow being pulled because of a family emergency, and Dax Harwood of FTR chastised Cutler for his tweet publicly. Do you enjoy people gathering together to catch people on dives, John?
No.
That's a good answer. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it either. So I get where Jim Ross is coming from.
That's why that could be messed to everybody, right?
Well, no, yeah. I mean, if you are gonna gather together and catch people, at least catch them. Poor Pat McAfee. Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that one of the reasons Sting signed with AEW is because Tony Khan made a deal with him that he can leave on his own terms, something that WWE wouldn't let him do, which is an interesting note there. New Japan Pro Wrestling news: New Japan announces that the 49th anniversary show will take place on March 4th from Budokan Hall, and according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Harold Meade was not keen on bringing back Chris Jericho to New Japan Pro Wrestling due to Jericho's price tag. Additionally, Meltzer stated that Jericho no longer has a contract with New Japan and that is believed that to have already expired. Meltzer went on to say that May's exit as president and CEO of New Japan this past October has renewed interest in bringing back Jericho into New Japan. So we probably won't see it for Wrestle Kingdom, but later on in the year we may see a return of the Painmaker. ROH news: ROH announces that 4 wrestlers have been removed from Final Battle 2020 due to COVID-19 protocols, which are EC3, Bandito, Flamita, and Kenny King. EC3 later revealed that he is in fact tested positive for the virus, so our thoughts and prayers out to EC3. We hope he has a speedy recovery. According to Fightful, EC3's contract with ROH was supposed to expire after Final Battle, but he will now stay on to continue his story with Jay Briscoe. ROH announced that changes to the card would be announced during Final Battle Hour 1, which will air live from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Best on the Planet, Steer City, Facebook, YouTube, Fight TV, pay-per-view, and for Honor Club members on ROHWrestling.com. According to PW Insider, ROH World Champion Roosh current contract is believed to expire at the end of 2020, and the report did not mention Dragon Lee's current contract and end date, but it did note that Lee's work has been getting a lot of attention from other wrestling promotions. It was also noted that ROH COO Joe Koff is having ongoing conversations with both talents. Impact Wrestling news: Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Ethan Page is among a few Impact talents whose contract has just expired with the promotion, and he has been in talks with AEW, WWE, and MLW. According to Wrestling Inc., the other talents whose contracts have expired at the end of the year are Taya Valkyrie, Jake Christ of OVE, and Sami Callihan, but Callihan is going to be re-signing with Impact Wrestling. This week's Impact on Access TV was down from last week's 221,000 viewers to 177,000 viewers, so a slight decrease back to like their regular levels, even with Kenny Omega on the show. And Fightful Select reports that AJ Styles was quite amused and thought it was great with Hornswoggle doing a portrayal of his character on Impact Wrestling a few weeks ago. And our final news note: MLW adds Mads Cougar versus Alex Hammerstone Zone to their Kings of Colosseum show on January 6th. So we have reached our final segment, preview and predictions for two huge shows this weekend. Two of the final huge shows of 2020 with ROH Final Battle 2020 and WWE TLC 2020. ROH, we're only going to talk about the top matches. On the pre-show, you're going to see Tony Deppen versus LSG versus Josh Woods versus Drake Draper, with the winner getting a shot at Dragon Lee's ROH TV title on the main show. Danhausen will go one-on-one with Brian Johnson. Mike Bennett will make his return to ROH pay-per-view, and he will team with Matt Taven to versus The Righteous, Vincent and Bateman. Pure Rules tag team matchup is going to be Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus of the Foundation versus Fred Yehi and Wheeler Yuta. And this one will get your predictions. Pure title is on the line for the first time on ROH pay-per-view in 14 years, I believe. Josh Gresham, the new champion, will defend his title against Flip Gordon. Jonathan Gresham won the Pure Championship in the Pure title tournament, defeating Tracy Williams in the finals. He is the leader of the new stable, the Foundation. He's going to have two matches on this night, as he's also one half of the tag team champions, but Jonathan Gresham will defend against Flip Gordon. I'm not going to talk too much about Flip Gordon's personal views because he's an anti-masker, but I am rooting for Jonathan Gresham in this match. Who do you have, Top Guy JJ?
I mean, Jonathan's he's still rocking that octopus mask, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess it's a cool thing for wrestling purposes. I guess I rock with Gresham. I really cannot stand the octopus mask. I can't stand it.
Why?
Because it doesn't fit him to me, and it's just my personal opinion. It's not going to sway the minds of others. I think he's just so much better without it. But Jonathan Gresham.
Krssi Love, who do you have, Jonathan Gresham or Flip Gordon for the Pure title?
I'm gonna go with Octopus because JJ doesn't like his mask at all, and you also said the other guy's a fuckboy, so then I'm gonna go with this one.
I didn't say all of that. I said he's an anti-masker.
It's potato.
And funny enough, he's an anti-masker on Twitter, and in his vignette to promote this match, he wore a mask. So that was funny. John, who do you have? Flip Gordon?
Yeah, I've got Gresham for this already marked out on this one. Gresham to win.
Great. All right. So, like I said, Gresham has more than one match on the card. He will be teaming up with his Foundation teammate, Jay Lethal, to defend the ROH World Tag Team titles that they won last year at Final Battle against the Briscoes. This time, though, it will not be Mark and Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe was originally supposed to verse EC3 on the show. He's too busy trying to change the narrative of EC3. So Mark Briscoe has gotten someone as crazy as the Briscoe brothers in PCO to team with them. So PCO and Mark Briscoe versus the Foundation. Who do you have, John?
I've got the Foundation again. 2 for 2 for them on the night. I think that's how it's going to roll.
I'm going to have to agree with John. I think the Foundation are going to win the Pure tag team match with Rhett Titus and Tracy Williams. Jonathan Gresham's going to beat Flip, and they're going to beat PCO and Mark Briscoe. Who do you got, Krssi?
Excuse me. I have the Foundation as well.
Who do you have, Top Guy JJ?
I guess we all going with Black Excellence, baby. I guess we going that route because PCO and Mark Briscoe, like the fuck?
Come on, you're gonna be crazy.
Yo, this is one of those when you watch an episode of ROH TV and shit, and he just makes a mystery partner announcement, and then this guy just pops up.
That's exactly what happened. Watch Review of Honor where they react to that vignette where he announced this.
I'll pass.
ROH World Championship is on the line. It's going to be Roosh defending the title against Brody King. Brody King earned this opportunity defeating Shane Taylor on ROH TV. He's been on a winning streak, defeating former ROH champion Dalton Castle a couple of weeks ago, while Roosh is making his return to Ring of Honor here to defend the title. Who do you got, Top Guy JJ?
Who's he going against again?
Yo, he paused.
I had to.
That was like
I had to make sure. I got to make sure I'm picking him against the because I felt like that was a trick match.
Roosh versus Brody King.
Right.
Yeah, I had that. I didn't get the Brody King part. I apologize. Roosh, God sakes, fucking Roosh.
I was like, that was so easy.
It sounded like a trick match. I was like, bro,
No.
God, fuck sakes, Roosh. I apologize for the delay.
Who you got, John? Brody King or Roosh?
I've got Brody King. I've got Brody King, but that's from a source that I can't name. But I got Brody King in this one.
Oh, got the inside source here.
So they might change now.
We didn't go to you yet, Krssi Love. Who do you got?
I was gonna say Roosh, but this one with the inside info, you know, I'm gonna stay
Well,
with
don't
Yeah,
count me on
stick
that.
to your gut because that source is wrong. Brody King ain't beating no goddamn Roosh.
Roosh.
Hey, I'm not even going to go to a source. I'm just going to go based on the ROH news that I already talked about. Roosh's contract expires the end of 2020, so I think Brody King is going to win the ROH World title here at Final Battle 2020. And Roosh,
terms.
hey, Roosh will move on to greener pastures. I don't know what promotion that is, but I think he's not going to be with ROH much longer. So that is all for Final Battle. We will also have our Final Battle pay-per-view roundtable review with the good brothers from Review of Honor, Ness and John and Stat King John on over the weekend or next week for sure. WWE TLC is the last show that we will be previewing predictions for. The bottom of the card to the top as usual. It is now announced as a Firefly Inferno match. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt will verse Randy Orton. These two have been feuding ever since Orton won the WWE title. Bray Wyatt came over to Raw in the draft. Bray Wyatt trying to get revenge on Randy Orton for burning down the Sister Abigail's house all those years ago. So who will be set on fire here, apparently? The Fiend or Randy Orton? I'm going to start things off, and I was originally going to go with The Fiend, but now with this stipulation, I don't see Orton getting burned. So I see The Fiend getting another L and getting burned.
What's the point of this? Oh my
God. Miss Krssi Love, I'll start with you.
I'm just so confused at what they're doing with The Fiend. Like, he was over, and then you guys keep making him take these L's. It's like now you had him with Alexa Bliss, which is so good, but he's gonna lose again. Like, come on! I got Randy Orton. Fuck it.
John,
I'm gonna go with Bray Wyatt. I'm gonna go with the Fiend winning this still, and I can see some more ridiculous stuff coming on that they'll probably put on Randy's body for the next couple of months. They like all that at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to go with Bray. I suspect this feud will continue as well.
I think it will continue. That's why I'm going to go with Randy. But we got one for the Fiend, two for Orton. Who you got, top guy, JJ?
Bray Wyatt is losing this match. Like this is an epitome. Like this epitomizes why I can't stand the booking of this guy. Like it just. I'm done. Randy Orton's winning this match. Like, what's the point? Like, what is the point?
Setting ourselves up, yeah.
A Firefly Inferno match? Like, come on.
Creative.
Like, this is how they gonna have a blow off match as the first match, and you know they're gonna have like 3 more matches.
Yeah, it's creative.
Like it's retarded. It ain't creative.
Iron Man match will be the
blow off. This is supposed to be the blow off to end it, and then this is the first match.
Yes, creative.
Got it.
Raw tag team titles is on the line. We're gonna have the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods defending against the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. These two teams have been feuding for quite some time since the New Day came over from Monday Night Raw. This is a match that I would be more excited for if I didn't see it 100 times on Monday Night Raw. I like John said earlier, they kind of book their tag team feuds like universe mode, where you see like sometimes you'll see them in a singles match, but you'll see them in tag team matches multiple times before the pay-per-view. And And then on the pay-per-view, it's not even a stipulation. It's just for the titles this time. So, so that is what we have gotten here. A universe mode feud. So who you got? New Day or Hurt Business? We'll start with you, top guy.
They gotta pull a plug. They gotta pull a trigger at some point with Retribution interrupting Kofi Kingston. They gotta pull it at some point. They have to do it here. Retribution causes New Day to tag team championships. The Hurt Business takes the gold at TLC. This is the only title that will change hands. Sorry for my spoilers in advance.
Krssi, who you got?
I got the Hurt Business finally letting some shine and let them get some gold on their belt to go with their black and gold t-shirts.
Who you got, John?
Full House. It's the Hurt Business for me. Yeah, they're winning this the belts for me.
I am gonna go with you guys here, even though Cedric has been kind of teasing himself as the Brian Pillman and the Four Horsemen of the Hurt Business, but I think he's gonna get the win here for the Hurt Business, and they're gonna be the new Raw Tag Team Champions.
And he did all the work. He'll be the one that does all the work, according to him.
Exactly. Smackdown Women's Championship is on the line. We're going to see Sasha Banks defending against Carmella. Carmella returned about a month and a half ago to SmackDown, attacking Sasha after her victory over Bayley. She's been in the mind of the boss and saying that she has gotten more in her career by working less than Sasha Banks. A perfect example of working smarter, not harder. So who you got? Sasha or Carmella? We'll start with you, John.
Actually, I'm going to go with Carmella, but she's not going to win the belt. It's going to be like a DQ type thing. So yeah, I think they'll do that with that one. She's not winning the belt though.
Keep it going, right?
Yep. Just what we want.
I'm gonna go with Sasha Banks to get the victory here. I think, like John, it won't be the end of the feud. She'll probably get the win with like a roll up, but I think she'll get the victory here. Who you got, Krssi?
I definitely have Sasha retaining and winning. I'm not on board for Carmella, so it's probably going to keep going on for another like month or so. So yay.
Top guy.
Sasha Banks is going to defeat Carmelina.
Yes, Carmelina. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships is on the line. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and a mystery partner. This story was all about Lana getting put through tables by Nia Jax and getting picked on by Nia and Shayna, but now Lana is not even in this match, so we will predict who is the mystery partner of Asuka and who wins. I will start things off, and yes, this probably is not a prediction, it's probably a spoiler. The Queen, Charlotte Flair, will return, and Asuka and Charlotte will be our new Women's Tag Team Champions. Who do you have, top guy JJ?
I hate you.
Yeah, right. Like you just do the monkey wrench.
I hate you because I had my mind so set on only one title changing hands, and then you give me this Charlotte bullshit. But, like. It when something makes WWE sense, it makes WWE sense. Yeah, this is perfect segue. Without making Nyla, without making them look bad, without wasting this whole storyline, and obviously not giving all the shine to Lana, they bring the Queen back to steal the thunder and to make it seem relevant, and then you're gonna have the two egomaniacs battling it out for the next month over the tag titles and the Raw women. Yes, Charlotte and Asuka. Yeah, whatever.
John, mystery partner, and who do you think is gonna win this one? Asuka, mystery partner, versus Nia Jax and Shayna.
It's Sable. No, I'm joking.
I love it. Yes.
Imagine that. Sable accompanied by Brock. No.
I would love anything but this prediction, but it's gonna come true.
Yeah, actually, just listening to SB3, I actually got to go along with that. It's changed my outcome on the fly here.
Facts! So I hate him. I hate when he did shit like that.
He's poisoned my mind now with that. So I'm gonna go with the exact same outcome now because WWE mathematics, this makes the most sense to them. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Because she's
guess
gonna
what's
bring
gonna
her
happen?
in.
Because guess what's gonna happen? The tag champs are gonna come out first, and then Asuka, and then we're gonna have this long ass break, and then you're gonna hear this music, and then everybody else becomes irrelevant, and here comes fucking Charlotte.
And it makes sense because Nia took out Charlotte.
Hey, whatever.
So, Krssi, who do you got?
Oh my god, you and these damn. Oh my. If I could fall on the floor and you guys see me, I wish I could, but I can't.
We actually could see you though.
I mean, yeah. Okay, well, yeah. I was just gonna say, how did Asuka become our champion, and now she's in the range for the tag champ? I was like, when did this happen to Asuka? When did she become such the second fiddle?
She's playing like the third fiddle in this story.
Was the third fiddle as well, and then like, she's now such friends with Lana. I was like, this is such horrendous. Then she's doing TikTok videos with her. I was like, oh my god, stop, please, get her away.
Yeah, we're there already.
Okay, Asuka and Asuka 2 belts friend and Miss Charlotte Flair.
All right, and the final 2 matches, WWE Universal Championship TLC match, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. This one has been one of the better feuds, with Kevin Owens being the babyface against the head of the table, Roman Reigns, and his treatment of his family, and specifically, of course, Jey Uso. I am going with not your tribal chief, not our tribal chief, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Who do you have, Krssi Love?
I have, of course, Mr. Roman Reigns, our tribal chief. He's going to win.
Who do you have, John?
I have Roman Reigns easily. This is I have enjoyed this feud, but nowhere in this feud have I felt like Kevin Owens opposes any threat at all. That's the problem. I just think this is an end of the year type match that you see quite often. So, but I'm looking forward to the match because it's a different dynamic. Because normally we have to see Roman go in and expect him not to get booed, and he's trying to be the face, and Kevin Owens is trying to be heel. So at least this makes sense for this to work. And
should we even ask you, Top Guy JJ?
Are we really gonna ask me who is gonna come out in this match?
Got up and went and got the lays and
Are we really going to talk about who's going to win this match? Are we really talking about your tribal chief, my tribal chief, the WWE's tribal chief, the head of the table, the king of the WWE, losing to Kevin fucking Owens? Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? With them bullshit blue and yellow t-shirts? You gotta be fucking... Hell fucking no. This is going to be a great effort by Kevin Owens. Nonetheless, great effort by Kevin Owens. Probably going to be similar to their last TLC main event match, which will probably be a good one. But, man, please. This is just a distraction to hopefully they get the Goldberg bullshit out the way at the Royal Rumble. I'm hoping that they get that shit out the way at the...
I doubt it.
Is this Goldberg shit really like for real?
Hey, he already
teased it. He's promoting the fuck out of it. He's definitely this should definitely happen.
We're giving that too much attention. So yes, WWE Championship match, the main event TLC is going to be Drew McIntyre defending against AJ Styles. AJ Styles won this opportunity in a triple threat against Riddle and Keith Lee. Of course, Drew McIntyre won back the championship last month ahead of Survivor Series. So who you got? McIntyre versus Styles. We will start with you, Top Guy.
I mean, clearly, this is going to be. This is probably going to be a better match than expected. I think this is going to be This is probably going to be the match of the night. I'm going that far with this match, but Drew McIntyre is going to pull this out, but barely. But AJ Styles is going to look very strong coming out of this match.
Who do you have, John?
I would love AJ to win the belt, but it's going to be Drew, unfortunately, still. And I say unfortunately because I just think Drew is better chasing than he is capturing at the moment without fans. It just seems to make no sense having that babyface champion with nobody really there. So, I was quite surprised that they put it straight back on him when they did, because I thought they were going to let him chase, but Drew McIntyre retains.
Krssi?
Can I just say I want a bro nut, first of all? I just want a bro nut. Love him. now. I was not on board, John. I just wanted to let you know I was not a fan, but I do want a bro nut.
You're a broda.
Yeah.
You're a baby broda.
I think he's hilarious now. But I would love for AJ to win. And now that he doesn't have Homeboy in his corner now, for what? Because he did his job. He was supposed to stand there and make AJ, good. Anywho, yeah, Drew's gonna win this, unfortunately. So yeah.
And I will end things off. And yes, I agree. Drew McIntyre will get the victory, but I think there is a chance AJ will win. The record low Raw late ratings may make a difference here. But that brings us to a close on Tru Heel Heat 104. A quick plug for our lineup. You can check out our New Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag League 2020 and Best of Super Juniors 27 Finals Roundtable. A J News Japan special for Super J Cup 2020 starring myself with J News. A Blunt Impact special for Final Resolution. The latest True Rewind, Dark Power, Blunt Impact, J News Japan, Review of Honor, Joints and Jabronis, Richie's Raw Recap, and Wednesday Night Warriors starring Tru Heel Josh are all up right now. And all new Wednesday Night Warriors, Dark Power, Blunt Impact, and J News Japan will be up this weekend and next week. And you also got a very special WWE TLC 2020 pay-per-view roundtable and Final Battle 2020 pay-per-view roundtable that will be up early next week. And you could check out my latest appearance on Alice McCarthy's Wrestling Daily on Wrestle Talks Wrestle 2 YouTube channel, where we discuss the record low Raw ratings and the Bullet Club reunion. John, Scott, thank you so much for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 104. Please tell the people where they can find you on social media and, of course, Powered 4 TV.
Yeah, I'm not massive on social media, but normally I only use Instagram, so it's John_IV on Instagram. You can find me there, but don't forget anything else literally on the site, powered4.tv. Go and check it out. And also I want to throw out 50% off for those that sign up the first month. Just enter the code POWERED, all in capitals, and you'll get 50% off the first month. But like I say, go over, check it out. Plenty there, not just UK stuff. And also, just to throw it out, because I do get a lot of questions, yes, you can sign up. That doesn't matter where you live from around the world. We accommodate everybody. So yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
You've been a great guest. You've been a great guest for sure. Thank you for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 104. Krssi Love, where can they find you on social media?
I am the sensationalist Krssi Love. You can find me on IG, Twitter, and on Facebook. Smackdown Live with the Lynches and Tru Heel Heat.
And Top Guy JJ.
Now, Instagram, you can find me on TrueHeat_Top Guy JJ, and Facebook, I'm simply Justin Johnson. And yes, it has been an absolute blast to have you on here, man.
Thank you.
This has been fun.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yes, for sure. Check out Powered 4 TV. You can follow me on Instagram at TrueHeel_EpicSP3, Tru Heel Heat on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Of course, like this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends. Subscribe to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, just 90 subscribers away from 1K. So until Tru Heel Heat 105 next week, for Miss Krssi Love, for Top Guy JJ, for Mr. John Scott, Powered 4 TV, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are signing off until next time.